You know we can't talk about COVID without talking about Kyrie. In the wake of Joe Tsai capitulating, going back on everything that he stood for and said, apparently huge anti-vaxxer, right? Like, very hard line on those who were COVID truthers, vaccination deniers, et cetera, et cetera. He came out explicitly stating we will not have Kyrie Irving on our roster. If he can't play full-time and he doesn't want to do what the city of New York says he needs to do to play, he's not going to play. It's what's best for our team. We can't have guys coming in and out of the roster, in and out of the lineup, here, there, everywhere, not in shape, etc. And then, this is what Sean Marks said about Kyrie's return. We arrived at this decision with the full support of our players and after full and careful consideration of our current circumstances, that's the key word, including players missing games due to injuries and health and safety protocols. So yes, they're basically saying COVID is the reason that they have to bring this guy in who doesn't believe in vaccinations for COVID. Crazy, I know. First things first, Rolling Stone has to have an inside man because they've now done 3-4 articles, deep dives. There's got to be like 15,000 words that Rolling Stones has put out in the wake. And all centered around Kyrie, mostly, like something in the peripheral of Kyrie. And definitely all COVID related. How is Rolling Stones getting all this access? When did a music magazine turn into an NBA deep dive on medicine? I don't know, but it's happening. It's happening. So today, a new article dropped on NBA, Kyrie, and COVID. Those are the three. Somebody's in with all three of those. So the big revelation of this story that got buried in the lead is that Kyrie, the greatest story ever, really. Kyrie gets allowed to come back. First day, he gets there, pulls up, gets tested, has COVID. Literally walks in the door with COVID. Are you fucking joking me? Like, that's amazing. Apparently, he's now, like, because I saw it popped up, Kyrie Irving is now in healthy safety protocols. I was like, he just got there. I was like, is this a part of this, like, is this a stipulation where it's like he's coming back into the fold, so basically he's within the health and safety protocols until he gets enough negative tests? No, he had COVID, folks. He got there, tested, he got out of his car, tested, boom. COVID. See you later. Get back in your fucking car and go into isolation. What? Amazing. And then Iguodala comes out and talks about Kyrie. He's like, yeah, Kyrie's my man. I hope he shows his talent to the world and continues to prove me right that he's a top player ever. They don't want us to see his skill set, though. His mind is too free. It's not. It's not, folks, because let me just say this. Kyrie's mind is so not free, he's apparently only going to take the vaccine if it's plant-based. Think about that. Words I never thought I would ever Google, I did today. Googled, what is a plant-based vaccine for COVID? I didn't know. Just so much the perfectly stated Kyrie Irving sentence ever. Like, Kyrie Irving isn't against vaccines. He's just waiting for a plant-based vaccine for him to take. And you know what? It's coming. Apparently, a plant-based vaccine out of Quebec City, of course, is coming. And let me just say, I went down a rabbit hole to the point where I might not have even recorded this episode. Because I was like a health.com plant-based vaccine. Like it goes, literally you're going to ship plants that have the vaccine and the spike protein, fake simulated, just like fake meat. It's like fake vaccine, right? It's like not quite the real meat from the cow, but it tastes like the burger. It's like the Impossible Burger for vaccines. That's basically what it is. And you can just ship the plant itself. It doesn't even need to be anything more than refrigerated. I don't know. I mean, there was so much to it. I can't even explain. It was so complex. All I want to say is apparently it's safer. I don't know. I am now back on the Kyrie Irving sympathizer train again. Because I don't know if there's ever been a human being more confusing and yet also, as a former vegan, I understand it on deep spiritual level. I went to a movie, saw forks over knives, never ate meat for the next 3.5 years. Like, just because of that. And I was hard fast. And I got it. I get Kyrie. Like, he is actively vegan. And there is nothing more stubborn than an active vegan. Like, you can't tell them nothing. Like, you got vegans coming out talking about we shouldn't even have leather. We need to have synthetic leather. And it's like these cows are dying anyway. We're just gonna hey, you should just throw the skin away. No more leather. Like, they are wild, these vegans. It's like he's not gonna compromise his stance whatsoever. It's like, I am vegan and I'm not gonna put anything in my body that's not plant-based. And until then, I guess I'm just not gonna play basketball professionally. Like, that's the mentality of a vegan. Like, no compromises. This is my personal moral stance. When I was vegan, I only drank nut milk that I made myself. I had a Vitamix and I had a nut milk bag, and you blend up. So you soak these nuts. I'm going to just go through it. You soak these nuts in the water for like 12, 15 hours, and then you drain it. And then you put it with water and vanilla bean into a blender, and then you strain it through a nut milk bag. And then it's actually pretty good. And then you put it in like a mason jar, and then you drink it, right? And there was nothing that Starbucks could do or say to convince me that their Almond Joy in a box would ever touch my coffee in any way. And the coffee probably was tested on animals. Probably animals were killed growing that coffee bean in some way, but it was fine. All I needed to know was that I wasn't eating any meat and that I had nothing to do, even though I probably did, with animals being killed with my synthetic fake meat shit. That's veganism. Veganisms are like that. Veganisms are like Kyrie. And so I get it, Kyrie. And so I kind of now understand why he wants to take this one, and he's waiting for this plant-based vaccine over all the other, like, real active viruses injected into his veins. But also, he's probably eating Morningstar, and Morningstar isn't really meat, and truthfully, that means he probably doesn't care that much about his health, because if you've seen the ingredients list of Morningstar, it'll make your fucking, like, hair stand up on your hand. I mean, I digress. All of that to say Kyrie's back. All of that to say, and he might be back with this new plant-based vaccine, like playing home games. He might be back. And that just, who knows? And here's the thing. You know what this is all about. You know why the Nets changed their mind so rapidly. The New York Post hit it on the head when they said this. The Nets are a third of the way through the season, and they haven't beaten a single really good team yet. They've realized they can't win big without Kyrie. So COVID is the excuse that they're using, all of these players and health and safety protocols, to bring him back. That's it right there. That's the nail on the head. They needed an opening, a wedge, to change their mind rapidly, and now they have one. And Josiah at least was honest about it. He said, because he caught some flack after this 180, this egregious 180, he said, my only religion, it's amazing, my only religion is to win games and to win the championship. That's where we are. I think a lot of people are either pro-vax or anti-vax. People are mad at me for taking one stance or the other. But I have said from the very beginning, I'm not taking this as a political thing. I'm doing this to help the Brooklyn Nets win a championship. Pause. I don't think that's exactly true. I think he had some very, very serious comments about that. Josiah, Kyrie Irving's decision is about the team, not him. Josiah says choice to not have Kyrie Irving play is a decision for the team's best interest. Says that he's not going to speak to Kyrie until he gets vaccinated. That's his own belief. But I have to make this team decision, and it is not tenable for us to have a team with the player that comes in and out. No home games, only away games. What do you even do for practice? Okay, Josiah. Okay. Here's the thing. If KD had a co-star that was a real co-star, like if James Harden was the James Harden we know in his MVP season and not the James Harden, whatever James Harden is that we are seeing now, if they had a better offense like the offense that they had last year where they were number 1 in the league instead of 14th in the league, it's closer to the top, and they didn't have to have these monumental performances from Kevin Durant, 2 years off of an Achilles and an ACL, and the Olympics, who's averaging 37 minutes a night, by the way, in order to beat the fucking Charlotte Hornets, for God's sake. Like, if we didn't need that level of performance for KD in order for them to just stay in the mix, I know they're number 1 in the East, but this is not the same team. Then Kevin Durant wouldn't give a shit where Kyrie Irving was. Kyrie Irving wouldn't even be sniffing the roster. No one would be talking about him right now. But he would be on his couch, burning sage. But that's not what's going on. Harden's not himself. Joe Harris is dead. Probably going to be traded. Like, Joe Harris is out for the season. He's done. Probably going to be traded. Blake Griffin, he's not dunking anymore. He's back to Detroit Pistons Blake, which is probably one of the worst versions of Blake we've ever seen. Nick Claxton has always been peyote in human form. Like, you cannot rely on, it's like, you don't know what you're going to get from him. One night, you might have a wonderful experience of luxury and psychedelics. The other, you're like, this is a bad trip. He missed 4 free throws in a row in crunch time. You can't have this guy as your starting center. LaMarcus Aldridge has a heart murmur. Who knows how long he's going to play. You got guys like David Duke Jr. getting minutes. Like, that's where we're at right now. So KD needs reinforcements. Put pressure on Joe Tsai. Get this guy back. We need some scoring here. We're the 14th fucking offense in the league right now. We need someone who can get me buckets. Do you think David Duke Jr. is going to give me buckets? David Duke Jr. is not. David Duke Sr., who knows? He'd probably light the world on fire, David Duke Sr. Truthfully. You know he's lighting other things on fire. KD is tired of carrying this team with 3 guys on the bench from the G League that, like, what was his name again? Quindry Witherspoon, Jamario Jones. He's like, get me Kyrie Irving back. What is this nonsense? And truthfully, when you think about Quindary Witherspoon versus Kyrie Irving, it's like, I'll take half of a Kyrie over 150% of Quindary Witherspoon. Like, please, I'll take 10% of Kyrie Irving, even if he goes on walkabout. What are we even talking about right now? I've got Kyrie or Langston Galloway. Like, okay, we need to just think about things in another light right now, Joe. Like, we're trying to win the championship, and we got guys that are literally just have a plumber's slit coming out of the back of their pants and wrenches around their waist, and then we got Kyrie Irving burning sage on the couch. A very good Kyrie Irving. Can we just be reasonable here? And Joe Tsai's like, you know what? You're right. We should do that. We should just give Kyrie an opportunity to play. And maybe once he gets out there, he'll take a plant-based vaccine, and we'll have him back in the fold, and we'll be good to go again. And, like, let's be real. Like, Joe Tsai only cares about winning. Joe Tsai is a rich billionaire who bought the team from another rich billionaire, Russian, who is said, basically, I'm opening up my doors for you guys to have whatever it takes to feel comfortable to win me a chip, because this is just another measuring stick of my dick and my success against all of my other billionaire fucking friends. And if I don't get, like Veruca Salt, if I don't fucking get that now, I don't even know why I'm paying you guys all this fucking money. Like, why do I have all these divas on the team if I can't buy my way to a chip? So, that's it. So it's like a parent who grounds their kid, and then they realize, and it's like, you can't have my car. Like, you're grounded from the car for a month, and then you come down with, like, you're sick, and you can't take him to school, and it's like the person that's supposed to bring him, he's not available either, and you're just like, I'm not getting my ass out of bed for this kid. You just take the keys and go. The grounding is off. I don't, like, just do what you need to do. I'll see you later. That's basically it. Omarion got him. And KD needs some reinforcements. And truthfully, like, Joe Tsai might be the perfect NBA owner for the COVID world. Like, just very loose and fast with the rules and his morals, which, I mean, he's a billionaire. We already kind of knew that, didn't we? Like, win no matter the cost. Fuck the optics. This league. That's all the time that we have for the Heat Check. We'll be back Friday morning, early squirrely, with a new episode. Yes, we'll be back Friday morning. From everyone here at Odyssey and the Heat Check, happy holidays to you and yours. I hope you make good gingerbread cookies, or as my mom would say, don't bake gingerbread cookies. If you're just starting baking, bake something easier like Chex Mix. Do something like that. So do not forget to download, subscribe, tell all your friends. Please follow us on social at This Heat Check and at Trysta Krick on TikTok. We will see you Friday morning. Knuckleheads.